Hey everyone, my name is Tim. I run the site talesfromthecollection.com. It's a through the mail and autograph collecting website. We've got a lot of great tutorials on there. One of them goes over the basics, and you can see it by going to www.talesfromthecollection.com/TTM TAC 101, through the mail 101. Here's the link right here. I'll leave it in the notes and the description as well. So basically, if you want to do through the mail, there's a pretty formulaic way of how to do it. It's not that hard. Anyone can get started, even something you can do with kids. It's great for any age, and it's a lot of fun. I've been doing it for well over a decade. I got a lot of great successes from celebrities like Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I go for a lot of Star Wars people, but recently got one from Penelope Cruz. All kinds of people have been known to respond through the mail, so this can be really fun. And not only celebrities, but authors, athletes. Of course, athletes are huge in through the mail. Historical figures as well. Military veterans who participated in important battles, or scientists even. Whatever you're interested in, through the mail is something that can allow you to reach out to people who you admire or who have done something that's historically significant. So if you want to send them something to get signed, maybe a photo or something else, you can also sometimes get some correspondence back, ask a few questions, and pick their brain about a particular movie they worked on, or maybe something that they're famous for, like a particular scientist, what it was like researching a specific topic or discovering something in their work, something that's important. You can kind of dig deep into that and get a response, which is pretty cool. So there's basically 7 steps that I've laid out here on my website. You can, again, just go to that link and you can get this all written out for you. But we're just going to go over them one by one. So the first thing is, who are you writing to? And generally, some people just go online and they say, okay, well, who responds? And I mean, that's important to know. You want to know who responds, because that's going to help you get a good success rate. But the most important question is really, what interests you? What are you interested in? You really want to be sending genuine requests where you don't want to waste people's time to get an autograph just for the sake of getting an autograph. Ideally, you want to be an actual fan, someone who does actually admire their work and you know who this person is, not just collecting an autograph for the sake of collecting, right? So sit down and think, who do I want to write to? And maybe make a list of some of the top people you want to write to, and then go into the research phase. Go and see who has responded by going to you can go to our Facebook group, talesfromthecollection.com on Facebook. We've got a great group. You can ask about if this person signs or not. You can just Google their name and fan mail, or through the mail, and that should pop up some responses as well. Do some basic research, see if they respond, and if it's someone that you like and someone who answers fan mail, that's a pretty good place to start. Even if they don't have a previous history of answering fan mail, that doesn't mean you can't write them. There's plenty of people who have untested addresses who you can get a success from. That's cool. But if you're just starting out, I would recommend going for someone you like and someone who's a little bit tried and true. So you don't want to send a bunch of letters out and then come up empty-handed. So help yourself out a little bit and do a little bit of research first. And on our website, I got a link to our Facebook group right there. Good place to go for information as well as the site. So, if you want to, how do you research someone's success, and how do you find a good address for them? Well, my favorite place to go is startiger.com. If you go to startiger.com, you can see that you have to log in. It's a paid service. It's pretty cheap, about $5 a month, something like that. But it's well worth it. It is a paid service, but the kind of information you get is top quality. They got great admins who update addresses and can help you out with finding a good working address. So it's definitely good value for your money. If you just go in here and you just do Harrison Ford. Without being logged in, you won't be able to see the addresses and all that stuff, but you can get an idea of what's on here. So all these kind of blanked out spaces, these are all addresses that they have for Harrison Ford. So there's quite a lot of them. And then you'll get down to this section right here. These are removed and outdated. And these show you the ones that no longer work. People are getting returned to senders, or he's no longer represented by this agency, that kind of thing. And you'll see, okay, like this address right here, address has been tested with a success. And this one had a return to sender. So you'll see, and most of these are probably going to be, he sends out a lot of preprints, but once in a while he does reply with an authentic autograph. So you might get lucky, and that's really what a lot of this is. It's a game of luck, perseverance. You got to keep trying. But you will get lucky eventually, and you can get some really cool successes from this. So Star Tiger is my number one place to go. Fanmail.biz. I mean, it's a good place to start. It's not my favorite. It's not really well updated and maintained, so a lot of the addresses are out of date. The forums, fairly dead. It used to be pretty active, but I mean, it's gone downhill. It's not the place that I would recommend people to go. Star Tiger is definitely the best place, I think. But this is free, so if you want to start off somewhere, just get your feet wet a little bit, not have to pay too much money up front. Fanmail.biz is a decent resource. But if you can, if you know who, if it's probably not like a big celebrity, maybe it's an author or a professor, like a scientist, something like that. Maybe your best bet would just be to Google search their name and see if they have a website, and then contact them through there, or see if they have an address actually listed, like a PO box or anything like that. That's probably going to be your best bet for a lot of people. But if it's a celebrity, you don't want to pay the money for Star Tiger, you can just go to fanmail.biz and you'll probably be all right. So just check the forum, see if there's a recent response, and if there is, then you should be good to go. All right. So that's how you find a good address. When you are writing your letter of request. So letter of request is just the fan mail, the fan letter that you're sending, right? This is going to be saying say a little bit about yourself. Dear celebrity, my name's Tim. I like you for X and Y reason. That kind of thing. And then you go into, maybe I try to make it as personal as I can. So I mean, usually I know something about the person that I'm writing to, maybe something about the cause that they're interested in, or what they volunteer their time with, something like that. So, maybe, say, hey, thanks for supporting, environmental causes with X, Y, and Z. Appreciate that. I think that's important. Yada, yada. So it's kind of say why you think that explain why you're writing to them, basically, and make it as genuine and sincere as possible. And somewhere in the end, I say, I'd really appreciate it if you could sign the enclosed items, just sincerely, or all the best, however you want to close the letter, your name, and sign it at the bottom. And then that's basically your letter. So my letters are usually about 3 paragraphs long, so almost a full page usually, but you don't have to write that much. You can definitely get away with like half a page. That's fine too. Now there's somewhat of a debate, I guess, between just writing out the letter by hand and typing. Some people swear by writing by hand, and hey, if that's what you want to do, that's great. My handwriting is not very good, so I prefer to type it. I think, one, it's easier, it doesn't cramp up my hand, but 2, I think it's a courtesy to the person reading the letter, because it really makes it a lot more legible. Otherwise, it wouldn't look too good, I don't think. So I type all my letters, and I get plenty of responses. I don't think it really matters. I've definitely handwritten letters before, and I hadn't noticed any, perceptible difference in my return rate. So I don't think it matters at all. But you do what you want to do. If you want to handwrite it out, great, no problem there. If you want to type it, I don't think there's any problem there either. So just follow that that format. Make the letter your own, make it unique, and be sincere and genuine. All right, so you're gonna need some supplies when you're doing through the mail. Nothing too crazy, really. I mean, it's pretty cheap hobby. You're going to need, basically, as a bare minimum, it kind of depends on the kind of stuff that you're getting signed. If it's going to be an index card or it's going to be a larger format piece like a photo, obviously you're going to need larger envelopes. But if you're doing a small photo or just an index card, you can use a number 10 envelope and a number 9 envelope. And you can see the green one is number 10, and the white one is number 9. And the number 9 fits inside the number 10 just fine. And obviously it doesn't have to be a green one, just a plain white envelope is cool. But yeah, you just need some kind of larger envelope with a smaller envelope inside. And why you want that is on the small envelope, this one's going to be returned to you. So in the destination portion right here, this is where the destination address goes. That's going to be your address. The return address is going to be theirs, right up here in the top left corner, and the stamp goes here in the top right corner. For the number 10 envelope, the outside envelope, obviously their address goes in the destination portion here. Your address in the top left is the return address, and the stamp on the outside. And so what that does is, basically when they get your letter and they open it up, they're going to see the letter asking for an autograph. They're going to see something to sign, and they're going to see a way to return that pretty easily. So once they sign your index card or small photograph or whatever, all they have to do is stick it in that return envelope that you already provided. They just seal it up and then stick it in the mailbox. They don't have to go to the post office to get the postage or anything like that. You're making it very easy on them. And there's a very good reason why you want to make it easy, is because that increases your chance of success. The more steps that they have to do, like go to the post office, find an envelope, write your address down, get the postage on it, that means that it's more likely that they might not reply, right? So if you make it super easy for them, they're going to want to probably reply a lot more often than if they have to take a bunch of time to fulfill your request, right? So always send something to sign. Always send a return envelope with stamps. That's commonly referred to as a SACE, self-addressed stamped envelope. You'll hear that acronym a lot. And you should be good to go. Hopefully you make it easy for them, and when they get it, they'll respond quickly. But these responses, sometimes they take a couple weeks. Sometimes we're talking months. In rare cases, we're talking years sometimes. I've heard many times like, oh, hey, your letter got lost under this pile of, papers or whatever. Or, you hear stories about just bins of fan mail being found and answered to, all these years later. It happens. But typically, responses are going to be on the order of a month or two. That's usually how long it takes. Yeah, of course. So for stamps, if you're just sending domestically within the United States, you just need U.S. postage stamps. And, you can just use a forever stamp for your number 9 and your number 10 envelope. And these forever stamps are good, as they say, forever, even if the price of a stamp increases. This is good for any first-class letter. So basically, any number 9 or 10 envelope that is under 1 ounce of weight, 1 ounce or less, which is, any standard letter, you're going to be good. You shouldn't have to add anything more. Unless you make it particularly rigid, then you'll have to add a little bit extra for that, because it's non-machinable. Because the mail goes through a sorting machine, and if it's rigid, like you got something stiff in there, like a piece of cardboard to protect your photo, then it can't go through the sorting machine. It has to be hand sorted, which has an extra cost. But if you're just sending an index card or some photos which are not backed or in some kind of weird top loader or anything, you're perfectly good with a forever stamp. If you're sending internationally, that's where the stamps gets a little bit tricky. Same thing. They do have these forever stamps right here. These are the global forever, so these will go to any international country, just the same as a forever stamp, as a first class forever, but globally. So these cost more, obviously, but they're pretty convenient and they work just the same for international countries. However, when you're sending to, let's say, the UK, you send your return envelope. You can't put U.S. postage on the return envelope because they're not sending from the U.S., they're sending from the UK. So whatever country you're sending to, you need that local postage in order for them to be able to return your stuff. So what do you do in that case? Well, that's where it gets a little bit difficult. I mean, it's not too hard, but it just requires some advanced planning. So if you are going to send to the UK, for example, you just got to go to the Royal Mail. That's their version of the United States Postal Service. Royal Mail website, and you can order stamps from the UK to the US quite easily. It just takes a little bit of time to get across the pond. So you got to plan ahead. But yeah, and that's basically the same process for any country. France, you just go to their La Poste, I think is what France has. You would just go there. You could order some stamps, or you can print postage online too, of course. So you can do it that way. You just have to plan ahead, and you can go into groups like Tales from the Collection Facebook group, or post a request for stamps there. Someone might be able to help you out. So a couple ways to do that. Now, talking about, so once you get your autograph back, you're going to want to find a way to store it. Storage is pretty important with autographs because we're talking about ink on a photo or a piece of paper, and that can come off pretty easily if you put it in the wrong type of sleeve, or you put it up against glass. It'll just come right off. Stick to the glass, or stick to whatever top loader type thing you're putting you're putting it in. So you got to be careful. You got to use like archival quality. You want it to be acid free. It has to be something that is good for actually storing autographs, not just whatever thing you have laying around. You definitely don't want to. I wouldn't stack them up, and you want to keep them away from getting damaged and keep them safe. So there's the cheapest way, I would say, is to get a 3-ring binder and get some like Ultra Pro 8x10 sleeves. Those are pretty good. They're archival quality, and they're that's basically about the cheapest you can go, and still be safe. If you want to display your stuff on the wall, you don't have to go and get it professionally framed, but you're going to want to use an acid-free backing. You're going to want to use acid-free matting, and the matting is going to basically kind of frame the photo, but what it does is it keeps it off of the glass, so there's not going to be any direct contact between your photo and the glass. There's going to be the mat, this piece of basically thick paper that stands between the glass and the photo, and that'll help protect it. And ideally, if you're framing it, particularly if it's a nice autograph, you're going to want to have like UV glass, because UV light will fade an autograph over time, and the photograph as well. But particularly, you'll see the signature starting to go away if it's exposed to direct sunlight. So some people even will scan their autographs and then frame those as well, or instead rather. And that way you can have your nice autograph tucked away in a binder, and you can have something for display. And if you do a good quality scan, it looks the same, but you're not risking damaging it under the sunlight. But that's personal choice, whatever you want to do. Other than that, I have links to all these things on talesfromthecollection.com /throughthemail-101. And I would also recommend Etoya binders. That's about as good as you can get. They look really nice, great quality, and yeah, Etoya binders. That's about as good as you're going to get with those art portfolios. All right. So now that we know how to send stuff, I mean, you really just kind of got to decide. We know who we're sending to. We know what address we're writing to. We kind of need to decide what we're sending. So, like I said, if you want to send something small, you use those number 9 and number 10 envelopes. But if you're using, like an 8x10 photo that you're sending, obviously you're going to need a lot more postage, which ups the price in addition to the, $3 or so that an 8x10 photo costs to print. So the cost of the hobby starts going up when you get into photographs, but if that's what you want to do, basically you're going to have to get a couple of these. So you're going to need the 9x12 envelope and a 9.5 by 12.5 envelope. So this acts just the same as the number 10 and the number 9 envelope, where you have one envelope that's just slightly bigger than the other. So the 9x12 will go inside as the SACE, as your return envelope, and the 9.5 by 12.5 will go on the outside as the envelope that you're sending. And then you just stick your photo in there. Usually I like to take I buy these pieces of cardboard about, yay big, and then I'll use some painter's tape, which are, pretty safe on photos. They're not going to take any color off or anything like that. It won't take the ink off. Put a little bit of painter's tape, one on each side of the photo, and just tape it to the piece of cardboard. Slip that piece of cardboard in so that the celebrity can just take it out, and they have it right there in front of them. They just sign it and then stick it back in. It makes it pretty easy. I would not recommend sending photos in top loaders, or cards for that matter. I've done that before, and rather than taking the card out of the top loader or the photo out of the top loader, some celebrities will just sign the top loader itself, and you don't want that to happen. So I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. I found that just taking a piece of cardboard the right size, using painter's tape to tape the photo down is the best way to do it. You're not going to have any kind of mistakes that way. Nobody's going to be signing a piece of plastic instead of the photo itself. And as far as printing photos and how to find photos and all that, did another video on that, which you can find on the YouTube channel. And basically after that, you just basically sit back and wait. Like I said, it can be sometimes as quick as a week. Usually it's more like a couple months is usually probably what you're going to be waiting. So good luck to everybody. I hope that helps you out. Just go to the website, talesfromthecollection.com. We got all kinds of guides there. You can see what kind of successes I've had. Every month I do a roundup post the autographs that I get. And I get a lot of good stuff. I think you guys will like it if you go and check it out. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, please. That would really help me out. I'm basically just starting out this channel and starting out the website. Only this year, but it's been a lot of fun so far. So I'd appreciate all of your guys' support. Thank you.